How's it going, everyone? Spectre here, and this is actually a really funny story to me. And the reason it's funny is because I kept track of this for a couple of hours before going to sleep last night. And when I woke up earlier today, I checked, and sure enough, it was still going. Now, Battlefront is days away from launch. Battlefront 2, rather, or Battlefront 2? I don't know. It's EA. I just don't know, but EA has a very long track record of fucking up PR and customer service. They've been voted as arguably the worst in customer satisfaction and customer service for years. And this really pushed things over the edge for a lot of players. EA's new Star Wars game is so unpopular, a developer is apparently getting death threats. Okay, so I just want to speak on that really quick. I don't believe somebody is getting death threats that are legitimate, or rather, I don't think they're getting death threats like they're claiming. And what I mean by that is a lot of people like to say, I'm getting death threats, and then when told to provide it, they don't. Or in the case of, say, Anita Sarkeesian and Zoe Quinn, it's been proven that the death threats normally come from themselves. This happened during Gamergate when Anita Sarkeesian was claiming she was getting death threats. The FBI looked into it and actually said, no, you sent those death threats to yourself. So this is kind of something we see when they want to take the eye off of their own stupidity, or they want to focus it elsewhere and draw sympathy and whatnot to themselves. So let's read. EA's new Star Wars title is still days away from the official launch, but Battlefront 2 and its lofty in-game prices have already provoked outrage among gamers. Reddit users on the page R Star Wars Battlefront flooded the site over the weekend with comments disparaging the difficulty of unlocking certain characters to be used in the game, and vowing to boycott the title upon its official release Friday. A post titled, "Seriously, I paid $80 to have Vader locked," naming Darth Vader as one of the characters that needs to be unlocked through extensive gameplay or in-game purchases, garnered nearly 3,000 comments before the thread was locked, one from an official EA company account that became the most downvoted Reddit comment in history, according to VentureBeat. And what they mean is that an EA representative actually responded to the thread. That's what's being said right there. The official response defended the game's progression milestones as, quote, challenges that are compelling, rewarding, and, of course, attainable, unquote, and said the company wanted to, quote, provide players with a sense of pride and accomplishment, unquote. In just 18 hours, the comment earned more than 250,000 negative points. A Reddit spokesperson said the company does not maintain a ranking history and so can't confirm that the comment is the most downvoted. It's the most down-fucking-voted. Just keep that in mind. And then they link to the full comment, which I'll bring that up in a second. The article continues, the outrage runs so deep that someone who professes to be a developer claims to have received death threats. A Twitter user who goes by the name Sean and claims to be an EA developer in his bio tweeted Monday morning that the game has inspired, quote, personal attacks. Sean's tweet says, so I'm up to 7 death threats and over 1,600 individual personal attacks now, and yes, for legal reasons I'm keeping track. And why, you might ask? Because of an unpopular feature in a game. EA cannot be immediately reached to confirm the Twitter profile. So what you have right now is someone claiming that they're getting death threats. Once again, we see this all the time when a company wants to take the focus off of stupidity and whatnot, or somebody wants to garner some sympathy, or, you know, they want to play with people's emotions. We see it all the time. So I'm going to take you to the actual post. This is the Reddit thread, and you can see 21 hours, negative 330,000 points. Now, when I checked earlier today, it was only at about 175,000. That was 16 hours into it. So this is 5 hours later, negative 330,000. So you can see that it pretty much doubled. Now, That's 21 hours. I have a second one. It's a couple of hours later. And at 1 day ago, 1 day old, 410,000 points. Now, here's what's kind of interesting. Gilding. This right here, Redditors have gifted 20 months of Reddit Gold to EA community team for this submission. I'm not even sure what the fuck that is. Why are people gilding such a stupid comment? I can only assume it's trolls or it's EA gilding itself, trying to make it look like people actually support that. And actually, if I go over to the more recent one, there's now 39. What matters is that these AAA companies are forcing people to pay $60 minimum for a game and then trying to push season passes up on you and basically writing you an IOU for DLC or expansions that may not even come off properly. And we're seeing this more and more with companies like EA and Ubisoft, where they push the concept of a season pass. And most of the time, it's not even worth it for the expansion that you get. It's not. Ark did this with the season pass and the expansion that's coming out, Aberration. It's probably coming out in December, despite them saying that it would probably be coming out in October. These companies are trying to pull the wool over people's eyes. And unfortunately, EA has a solid background. They have a solid fan base, rather, for their games. Look at Battlefield. Rabid freaking fan base. I used to be part of it. I haven't played Battlefield since Battlefield 4, though. Didn't touch Hardline, didn't touch Battlefield 1. Their games just have a good fan base because of the smaller companies that actually develop the games. They put in quality content normally. Mass Effect, up until Mass Effect Andromeda, was a great series. Battlefield, up until Battlefield 4, really, was a great series. And now you're starting to see this entire shift from these AAA publishers, especially Activision now. Activision has sunk its claws into Blizzard. Blizzard is now doing a lot of pay-to-win shit. Rather, they're doing a lot of monetary gain shit. And while I understand that they are a company that is, first and foremost, looking to make money, this wasn't Blizzard 5 or 6 years ago. This is Activision at this point. In 2015, during a quarterly meeting, Activision pretty much said, we're going to start looking at doing annual expansions for World of Warcraft. What? That went against everything that Blizzard did. But these AAA companies have a way of just dragging the good developers and publishers down into the mud with them and tarnishing their reputation. And that kills me, because I remember Blizzard as the quality company that consistently made quality games. StarCraft, Brood War, Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3, World of Warcraft, Burning Crusade, Wrath of the Lich King. I'm not going to touch the other ones because they were crap. Okay, what anybody says, Cataclysm was crap and everything after that was crap. Legion was okay. But StarCraft 2 didn't feel like a StarCraft game, really. I play it, but it doesn't feel like a StarCraft game. It really doesn't. And you're left with this disgusting taste in your mouth as they start putting out heroes for money for their co-op campaign. Here's the Storm. You have to pay money for the heroes. I think you can get them through in-game stuff, but whatever. I can't confirm that because I don't touch Heroes of the Storm anymore. But one of the things that really pissed people off was apparently the people who were reviewing the game, who got the early copies of Battlefront 2, spent 10,000 points per hero, which is about 10 hours of work, according to the company. The finished product is going to do it for 40,000, meaning that you're going to have to do an entire week of work, basic work week, unlock each hero. And you know, right now it might be Luke, might be Leia, might be Darth Vader, might be Emperor Palpatine, might be Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. How many is that? Assuming that it's just the base right now, I'm assuming it's going to be Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, Yoda, Obi-Wan, and maybe they add another non-Jedi. So 5. You're talking 200 hours of work to unlock all of them. And you know they're going to put other heroes in, which means 40 more hours of work per. And then they're going to say, oh, you could unlock them sooner, paying us real money. People need to stop pre-ordering these games because they get away with so much shit like this. And the players continue to encourage this by pre-ordering, by ordering season passes, by ordering collector's editions. People need to stop. Once the AAA companies start realizing we're not falling for that shit anymore, we'll start getting actual quality content again. Because a lot of the shit that EA, that Ubisoft, and Activision put out nowadays is not quality content, as much as we may hate to hear this. A lot of smaller companies out there are putting out much better quality. Look at Divinity Original Sin. Look at Path of Exile. They're putting out a much better quality content than the AAA. And they're doing it for cheaper. If we want this to stop, if we want companies like EA to really start listening, the only way is to do it through the pocketbook. And there are a lot of people right now that are actually filing chargebacks and demanding refunds for their pre-orders. And there's nothing EA can do about it. They have to give the money back. I can't wait to see how much this just continues. It's incredibly funny to me because EA dug this grave. They dug it years ago, and now they're starting to realize it. That's really all I have to say on this. I mean, it's an absolute joke, and congratulations, EA. You unlocked an achievement. Most downvoted comment in Reddit history. Until next video, until next stream, I'm Spectre, and I'm out.